MTN SME Hub. Link to growth. Link to success. Link to the ultimate resource for business advice and insights.
Welcome to the Big Small Business Show, the show for all our wonderful, wonderful entrepreneurs out there, our wonderful marketers out there. And I have to say that I have been trained as a marketer, and I've spent the last 2 weeks just absolutely loving spending time with Heidi Brauer, who's been giving me and all our viewers a masterclass in marketing. Heidi was the former CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Hollard and Kalula, and she's now a marketing consultant, and she calls herself, or other people call her, the brand mama. Welcome back to the Big Small Business Show.
Thank you.
Right, so at the end of last week, I did say that I was going to open up with asking, what is the Heidi Brauer brand? What is your brand?
So it's a good question. And actually, it gives me an opportunity to say that sometimes brands evolve. It's not instant soup. It's quite hard. So I think my brand in a nutshell, I can say my brand is generous.
Right.
I love to connect people. I love to share thinking. So I think my brand is generous. My brand is nurturing and full of love, because I like to grow brands and I like to grow people. And my brand is about possibility. I believe in can, if not can't, because. So in a nutshell, that's me.
And funky?
Well, I suppose it's sort of a dead giveaway with it.
All right, so today we're talking about the recipe. We're putting the recipe together. And there's a lot of food metaphors there with the cake, etc. And I think maybe just to go back and start off the reminder around strategy, about marketing strategy and how that connects to business strategy. So for those viewers that didn't watch the previous 2 shows, so maybe a summary.
Yeah. Go and watch the previous 2 shows. But in summary, strategy is knowing where your ship is sailing to. A boat, a ship, are you going across the swimming pool in respect of your business objectives and your marketing objectives? And remembering that marketing objectives serve the business objectives. How many widgets are you selling, to whom, at what margin, where will you find these people? And then you can market to them. Strategy is everybody aligned behind the journey that you need to take to get that done, and not relying on a strategist or the CEO or one person to be able to articulate that. Everybody knows what it is. And the idea that your product might not be distinctive, or it might be a little bit distinctive, and therefore you need to layer what you offer the market with your product and your brand positioning, the things that make you you. I offer marketing consulting. Brand love is a much better way of saying it. But so do lots of other people. But I do it in my way. And that's really perhaps what will make you choose to use me rather than the hundreds of other people who are really good at what they do. But you're going to choose me because of some of those other yummy things that make my cake yummier.
So you speak about inclusive and exclusive. Give us more around that.
So I think that too much of business is in silos, not only big businesses, but small businesses. You know, and even in relationships between agencies and clients, to keep my brain sharp, I like to offer to judge award shows. And you see entries and case studies, and ad agencies write them. And they say at the end, it was very successful. They had 14 gajillion impressions and 5 million% engagement increase. But when you ask what the business objectives were, they can't tell you. Either because they didn't ask, because the client didn't tell them. Sometimes they even say the client won't tell me. And we have to get away from that, because everything we do from a marketing point of view is in service of the business success. It's not insulated and isolated from the rest of what we do. So we have to learn to speak one another's languages. We have to learn to understand as marketers business language. When I joined Hollard, I downloaded a thing called the Actuarial Glossary. so that I could speak insurance and make up acronyms on a minute-by-minute basis. So it was a never-ending challenge. And we have to help business understand marketing. And actually, the truth is, I think that part of my mission in life is to help business be better consumers of marketing so that we can do better work together. So we have to learn to speak each other's language. We have to remember that the only reason you're doing brand and marketing work is in service of the business objective.
I want to extend that a little bit more to the actual client, because what I often found, and you know, I speak as a guilty party, is that very often you have your own language. It's not just jargon, it's also at a company level. So if I talk about our selection process, internally we call it the purple process. There's a reason we call it that.
Yeah.
And so I would often catch myself or my team talking about the purple process, and you know, you see people glaze over and say, what's he talking about? So it's also about, and what I enjoy about working with you here over the last couple of shows is you speak in simple language to the client as well. You speak their language.
Yeah.
Not that they're simple. It just is we don't speak in jargon to the client as well. It's not just internally, it's to the clients as well.
Yeah.
Have you got an example of both where a company has spoken too much jargon to the client and where they haven't? Have you got any examples to share?
It's quite funny, actually, because just this morning I went to a seminar on AI in marketing. So I happen to know the first speaker, who is brilliant. He is super clever with the AI. And at the end of his section, there were Q&A. There was Q&A, and I was very quiet because I'm thoroughly intimidated by it all. And it's full of jargon. And at the end of the Q&A, he yelled my name and said, "Heidi, do you have a question?" And I said, "I can't, because I'm utterly intimidated by all your jargon and I only understood 2% of what you said," which is true. So for me, it's a very real thing just this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not thick.
Yeah.
But we just layer ourselves in terminology that makes us feel comfortable or clever. And actually, all it serves is to separate us from one another. And it's everywhere. It's pervasive and it's everywhere. And we're not sensitive enough to watch each other and realize when somebody, I call it migo, my eyes glaze over. In my time at Hollard, we had brand immersion sessions. Anybody that touched the brand would come in and be immersed in the business and the brand. And I could tell when an agency person hadn't been immersed. I was like, I don't know what they're showing me. And it was a lot when we were during COVID. I would ping my brand manager and say, "Has Fred done brand immersion?" And invariably they hadn't. So you have to, as a business owner or a brand owner, take the time to spend. And that's why I have this thing here that says have agendaless meetings. Meetings where you just get inside one another's head in service of the business.
We're going to take a break now, but when we come back, we have an agenda, and that is to carry on our conversation with Heidi Brauer. Stay tuned.
MTN SME Hub, link to business success.